Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks!
What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I want to share with you guys the 5 most carried pocket knives in my current collection over the last month or so. My rotation has completely changed, and I've got some really fun ones for you guys today. Most of these are available more or less, so I will link everything that I can right down below in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks so much to my patrons for supporting me, and please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. Let's start off here with number 5, and this is a guilty pleasure. The Kaiser Momo. I recently reviewed this, and I spent some time carrying it, and I just didn't, after I was done, I just didn't stop putting it in my pocket. I carry it the least of the 5 I'm going to show today, and the whole reason that I carry it is because it's just freaking cool. It's like a giant folding kitchen knife, and 154 cm, and we've got an aluminum bolster, aluminum scales, a steel liner lock, incredibly easy to manipulate, considering it's a front flipper. It's really, I mean, honestly, for what it is, it's very comfortable, but every time I flip this knife out, it puts a smile on my face, which is rare for a front flipper. I think part of the reason I like it so much is the distance between my index finger and my thumb when I go to front flip it makes it very enjoyable to engage. If you've ever looked at front flippers and you're like, I don't know, I don't really like that, or maybe you've had a couple and you thought, they're not really for me, this one just hits a little bit different. And I think the best part about this is because it's a Kaiser, it's priced really well. At $109, I just don't really have a problem with that, considering the overall quality and just, again, the smile it puts on my face. This is a big folder, rest assured. So, if that's not your thing, be careful. But if you're into big folders, this one might be for you. Next up, definitely the least expensive of the bunch, but man, what a joy to EDC. And that's the crossbar lock Migron Moyarl. Everybody knows who watches this channel, but that I have, a very high opinion of the Moyarl in, any configuration. There's actually a bunch. They'll all be linked down there in that link for this knife. But the crossbar lock version just works exceptionally well. We get a titanium pocket clip contoured micarta scales, which is different than the liner lock version, which is flat. 14C28N, absolutely beautiful ergonomics. I'm right-handed, and sometimes I like to, depending on what I'm doing, hold my knife with my left hand and manipulate it, which makes this really, really easy. It's just fantastic. I have another one. I don't carry the blue one with the gray PVD, but I wanted to show it just so you guys know that there are different options out there. But this green one has just been phenomenal. I think these come in at about 50 to 55 bucks, making them extremely inexpensive and easily one of the best budget knives on the market. Really, really great. Coming in at number 3, I actually returned to this one after they released a newer variant, and that's, of course, the Kunwu Padre. The one that I've been carrying is in the shiny black DLC. I also have the standard one here. I think that there are versions of this knife available. There's a bunch of reasons that I love this knife. The ergonomics, the look, all of that. But mainly, specifically with this one, this shiny DLC coating, which you guys watched me take a steel bit to and try to scratch on a previous upload, and it's just really, really hard to do. The scratches came completely off because this is a true DLC. The hardness of that coating is just through the roof, making it awesome. And you use it and it'll get smudged up and things like that, but you just wipe it down and you're good to go. Anything you're seeing on there is literally, I'm having a hard time talking this morning. It's literally just fingerprints and like moisture that's just been sitting on there. You can see it's sort of like spreading out a little bit, which, in some cases, if you don't keep it super duper polished up, it might create a little bit of an eyesore for some people. But the point is, it's actually adding a layer of protection for your blade. In this case, we have Vanax, which is not going to corrode anyway, but it does add a layer of corrosion resistance, scratch resistance, all of that. And it won't slow you down while you're cutting because in this case, it's very, very smooth. I'm going to be pushing for shiny DLC in 2024 a lot with knife companies that I talk with a lot because I think this is just a fantastic coating. We don't see it nearly as often as we should. The Padre is definitely on the more expensive side, but considering you're getting titanium and Vanax, I believe this other one is Vanax. Let's take a look. Yeah. And you also get a Damascus pivot collar on both sides, titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. The Padre is a hero of a pocket knife. It's a wonderful knife. Everybody knows it. If you get a chance to pick it up and you've got the budget for it, it is well worth it, especially that DLC variant. Moving on here to number 2. I have had this knife in my pocket almost every single day since I received it, which is somewhat recent. And this is the special edition of the Kaiser Milit in, once again, shiny DLC. And we have purple fat carbon. Now, everybody's going to kind of moan and groan at this one because they know that it was kind of it was like a club pre-order. Kaiser sent this to me so that I could show it to the people who watch my channel. They plan on releasing more, and I talked with Kaiser, and they also plan on doing more knives in shiny DLC. So while this version of the Milit might be a little bit difficult to get at the moment, more are coming, according to Kaiser. This knife had an incredible release price. The retail, I think, was $220, and the club price via their Facebook group was like $175. Are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. Same thing. Shiny DLC, super duper scratch resistant, not just for looks. Very, very different than the paint that's on the knives at your local gas station. This is about the most premium coating you can get on a knife. Absolutely wonderful. In the case of the Milit is just an excellent EDC knife all the way around. Little front flipper if you want to use it. If you don't want to use it, just ignore it. Use the opening triangle there. We have contoured titanium scales, and we have a beautiful, in this case, fat carbon inlay that's purple. I would venture to guess in the future they'll do different types of fat carbon on this model and probably other models that they release in similar configurations. But the fact that Kaiser can do this has amazing implications for a lot of their models. I mean, Kaiser has a ton of really, really great models. So really putting my hands together and hoping and praying Kaiser decides to release special editions of knives with the shiny DLC. And better yet, just make the shiny DLC a regular thing. Do this on as much stuff as you can. Make it not special so that everybody can get it, because this is absolutely wonderful for people who, can make use of a coating or just really, really like the look of it. Wonderful, wonderful knife. And then the number one knife that has been in my pocket since I received it over the last month is a knife that a lot of people are familiar with. You can actually tell that I've been using this one a little bit more. And that's the Arm Skaha 2. This is a knife that's been around for a long time. It's a knife that has, had a certain aura surrounding it as one of the better EDC knives of, I would say, the past decade, right? I just was late to the game. I reviewed it and I liked it, and I thought, you know what? The next time they become available, I'll pick one up. Well, that next time was like 4 years later. So I opted for one in MagnaCut and carbon fiber, and I've just enjoyed it like to the max. Really, the cutting geometry is wonderful. This is easily one of the best flippers ever. And I know a lot of you who have experienced a million different knives and you've flipped a million different knives are like, how much better could it get, right? After a lot of these companies have perfected the detent and the flipping action, could it really be better? Yes. If you handle one of these, there's a few knives out there that stand above the rest in terms of flipping action, and the Skaha 2 is absolutely one of them. That crisp detent break and the sound of it clicking into the open position, if you listen carefully, there are 2 distinct clicks. It's really spectacular. The other crazy thing, the nested liner lock is beautiful, but the action is impossibly smooth. I thought for sure, this thing wiggles around in the open position. There is no way that something could be that smooth and that solid. But you know what? It actually is. It's completely and totally solid, wonderfully light. I'm going to weigh it for you guys real quick who are not familiar with the Skaha. This is very nearly an 8-inch knife, beautiful contoured carbon fiber scales. The weight on this guy is 2.75 ounces. It's unreal. Not the biggest fan of the wire clip or the position of it, but you know what? I'll work with it. The other thing that bothers me a little bit is the angle of the flipper tab, but those are very, very easy for me to kind of get over as I carry and use this knife. That blade is just wonderfully utilitarian. The only problem with these is they can be a little bit tricky to get in certain configurations. I'll link the Arm's knives down in the description. You're going to have to wait a little bit. Jeez, I'm having a hard time talking today. You're going to have to wait a little bit if you want a certain configuration, right? But it's well worth the wait. These are absolutely fantastic. So once again, I want to say this guy came in over 300, but the base models come in under 300. Those are made in Canada, by the way. The Arm's Skaha 2, we have the Kaiser Milit Special Edition in Shiny DLC. We, of course, have the Kunwu Padre in Shiny DLC. That's definitely the big boy of the bunch. We have the Miguron Moyarl. I probably said Valona at some point. Sorry about that. I get those mixed up. and of course the Kaiser Momo. Fantastic. I'll link everything that I can down in the description. That's going to be it today, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.